Hi, this is Patria with OffbeatFamily.com. Welcome to another Metaphor Monday here in Hansen-Adamidis, where we're camping for the week. First thing in the morning when we wake, the water here is so calm. It's like glass. And I don't know if you could see it behind me, but it's very, very smooth. And it's actually the best time to get going with the canoe because obviously you have less resistance. If you just wait a little bit, what happens is the winds pick up, and before you know it, you have a lot of waves to deal with. And it means that you have to paddle harder, and you go a little slower, and it's just obviously a little more work. Whereas when you go out on the calm waters, the paddling is so much more efficient. So in the same way with our children, when we deal with things with them when they're calm, then obviously it's a lot easier than if we wait for the winds to pick up, so to speak, when they're upset. And it's harder to talk with them and help them through a situation. So what do? You know from past experience when situations have been difficult for them. And so you have the ability to predict when something might be hard for them. Knowing ahead of time the possible scenario, the possible problems that might arise is always important. The second thing that's important is being prepared. So that means talking to your child ahead of time about the day, about what's going to be happening, letting them know what to expect, letting them know what you expect of them, and talking to them about what they can do when things arise, if there are things that arise that might be upsetting or disappointments. So talking to them about this ahead of time prepares them so that it will be easier to deal with if those things come up. So the third thing is obviously supporting your child. So when you go into the situation that you sort of predict it might be difficult, and sure enough it is, something happens that you could see is starting to upset your child, so reading their cues, then you start to remind them about what you've already talked to them about. So the preparation that you've done, you go back to it and remind them and let them know, hey, remember we talked about this, and this is what you can do, or these are your choices. And then they're more able to deal with it, and you're catching it before the winds pick up. You're catching it before it's too difficult to deal with. But if you wait until they're so upset before you remind them of these things, then it's going to be a little harder to get them to do those things, because when we're stuck in our emotion, then logic is thrown out the door, right? So thank you for joining me here in Hansen-Adamidis for another Metaphor Monday, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week on Metaphor Monday. Bye for now.